holidays' goodbyes as they stopped and chatted on the sidewalks. A group of 5 or 6 people milled about in front of By the Book when I arrived. At first, I thought that the bookstore's line of customers was so long that it had spilled onto the sidewalk, which, of course, would have been great for the bookstore, but not for a shopping-averse, especially Christmas shopping, person like me. I was seriously considering leaving and returning later in the day when someone tapped my arm. I turned. "Leah, are you here for the Peapock demonstration? I hope the Times will cover it fairly if you are. All these fake news stories are making Peapock look like a bunch of nuts." Dottie Ellsworth, a solidly built woman in her late 50s, jabbed a red mitten-clad hand in my direction. "Oh, hey, Dottie. I'm not here for the paper. I'm just picking up some books I ordered. I didn't know you were part of the Parents Protecting Our Kids group." I kept my tone neutral in a nod to the season of goodwill and didn't make any snarky remarks about book-banning craziness. Wait. I should pause and introduce myself. My name is Leah Nash. I co-own the Himmel Times Weekly, and I write books. At the time, I'd recently completed my first foray into fiction, though it wasn't published yet, a mystery set in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I just joined Peapock a few weeks ago, after Ed Wagner told me the school board is against parents having a say in their own kids' education. "Well, that's not right," she said. "Aren't all your kids out of school, Dottie?" "I've still got grandkids in school, and even if I didn't, I'd be here with Peapock. We have to protect our kids. You're not against that, are you, Leah? That's not so crazy, is it?" Her voice had risen slightly, and her tone was challenging. When anyone says the group's acronym out loud, Peapock, I can't stop the image of a regal blue bird fanning his gorgeous tail from popping into my head. It was a picture very much at odds with Dottie. Her sturdy body was bundled up in a puffy black coat, and its hood covered her head, leaving only a few stray strands of iron-gray hair peeking out. I've got nothing against protecting kids, Dottie, but I don't really understand what Peapock is protecting them from. And I'm not a fan of shouting people down and threatening lawsuits at school and library board meetings. I've known you since I was your brownie troop leader, Leah, and you've always liked to stir things up. All that talk about Peapock intimidating people and being rude, it's not true. My neighbor, Mary Jane, she told me that story in the paper was fake news. We just want to make sure the kids aren't reading things that teach them to go against their parents, or to get ideas that are only going to hurt them in the long run. We're not telling teachers what to teach. Really? Because taking books out of school libraries kind of makes it seem like you are. Also, Dottie, just because you or Peapock doesn't like what we report in the Himmel Times doesn't make it fake news. I watched the video of the school board meeting. There was plenty of intimidation and rudeness happening. She shook her head. I wasn't there, and I don't have my tube or your TV or whatever it is they put the meetings up on. But Ed, he's going to speak in a little while, he said nobody listens unless you get loud. And I agree with him. Protecting kids is a good reason to get loud. But are you really protecting them? Or are you putting up barricades to learning about the world outside our very small, very homogeneous little town? It seems to me that denying them the freedom to read is the thing that will hurt them in the long run. I'd expect you to say that. She folded her arms and set her lips in a straight line, though more in frustration at my obtuseness than in anger at me, it seemed. Look, Dottie, I get that you see this differently than I do, but it's too darn cold to try and educate each other about our points of view out here on the sidewalk. I'm going inside, but if you want to talk more, stop by the paper some afternoon. I'll take you to the break room and we can chat over a cup of coffee. Maybe you can bring some of your sour cream coffee cake as part of the peace talks, I said, trying to lighten things up a little. She shook her head. You're wrong, Leah. You're dead wrong. This is serious. We have to step up for our kids and for our town. You're just being blind to what's happening in schools and libraries these days.